Hey, good evening. We're going to call our Falls Township Board of Supervisors meeting to order, 7 o'clock on October 21st. We'll begin with the salute to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Mrs. Pullen, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Galloway? Mr. Brasky?
Here.
Mr. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Dents?
Here.
Mr. Rocco?
Here.
The records show Mr. Galloway had a family commitment this evening, so he's unable to attend. First item on our agenda is public comment. Mr. Gray is getting the sign-in sheet, which has no names on it. Is anyone interested in speaking who didn't get a chance to sign up? No? Public comment, just for public comment. General, generic kind of. We allow comment on other agenda items. So, okay? All right. So if there's no one interested in speaking.
Speak.
You're going to speak?
I am.
You have to go down there.
No, I don't, do I? In response to last meeting, Richard Laventhal came up with a few issues regarding the road program, and he had a list of questions. And Mr. Sullivan provided the responses. One was about the grass that's been planted up to this date. And if you walk up and down the streets where the seed was planted within the last 90 days, most of the areas look good and have good grass growth. The contractor is still reseeding all the areas where grass isn't growing. He also suggested that we could offer residents the option of planting sod rather than have it seeded at the homeowner's expense, much like we do widening the aprons, and that's something that we can look into next year for the next road program moving forward. He also mentioned the seed specs of the seed that's being used. The seed specs have been independently verified, and it's the same seed specs that the Bucks County Conservation District approved. I was unaware that the grass that we are planting has to be approved by the Conservation District. He mentioned that he had some topsoil independently tested, and the pH was very high. Mr. Sullivan provided at least two pH tests that came back normal, that had been tested long before Mr. Laventhal brought this up. Then the contractor is going to be providing all of the tests that have been done. Also, the formula of the topsoil it mentions here is starter fertilizer is applied to the topsoil in a 16-26-10 formula prior to the application of seeding. 16% nitrogen, 26% phosphate, and 10% potash. So they were the responses to the issues that Mr. Laventhal brought up. I hope that answers the questions in regards to the soil and the grass with the road program.
Okay. Thank you.
I figured I had to put something in public comment.
All right, there you go. All right.
Would have been better if you were down there, though.
All right, we're going to move to agenda item number 2, which is certificate of appropriateness for 80 Main Street. This is tax map parcel 1320-261, removal of existing shingles and replace with new shingles on the main house and garage. Mr. Gray?
Yes, this also was approved by the HARB Board on October 13th. The applicant's name is Jerome Campbell. The board is asked to consider this certificate of appropriateness at this time.
Okay. All right. It seems pretty straightforward, just replacing of roofing shingles. Any comments or questions?
No.
None.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for new roofing shingles on the house and garage at 80 Main Street?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Item number 3 is consider adopting ordinance amending Chapter 209 by rezoning certain lands identified at Bucks County tax map parcel 1328088-2 from light industrial to planned industrial park. Mr. Gray, want to give some background on this? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Gallagher.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
Oh, Mr. Hector's here. Okay.
No wonder why.
I thought you just came because you were, sitting in as part of the crowd. No.
The TV was really bad tonight, so I figured I'd just stop by. And,
Get home before the World Series.
this is a request that has been filed on behalf of my client, Waste Gas Fabricating, located at 450 New Bold Road. The board will recall that Last year, at the end of last year, the board approved the minor subdivision plan for waste gas fabricating in order to allow them to purchase 2.42 acres of land from Conrail, with the property immediately behind their facility at 450 New Bold Road. This was all driven by the fact that waste gas has been successful over the years, outgrowing the space and is looking ahead toward the future, towards expansion, but they really didn't have the ground to do it. So we filed this request for a lot line change and basically showed this 2.42 acre parcel of land coming over from Conrail and being attached to the existing property owned by Waste Gas Fabricating. As pointed out by the Bucks County Planning Commission, by the Township Planning Commission, and by the Township Engineer, with this lot line change plan that was approved and recorded, we now had a parcel that was split zoned because the existing Conrail parcel was zoned light industrial. The waste gas fabricating parcel was zoned PIP. It was recommended, again, by both planning agencies and by the township engineer that the property be rezoned under one single zoning classification, the PIP zoning classification, which was the parcel classification for the existing waste gas property. So long story short, it was a recommendation made by the planning agencies as well as the township engineer. It was included in this board's approval resolution, so we initiated the process for the rezoning request, and we're here tonight for your consideration to grant this rezoning request. So at the end of the day, we have one 6.88 acre parcel all under the PIP zoning classification.
Okay. All right, any questions for Mr. Hecker?
No.
None.
Okay. All right, this is Resolution 14,
11.
It's actually ordinance.
ordinance, I'm sorry. Ordinance 1411, which would make the zoning change for that small piece of property that is purchased by Waste Gas so that the entire parcel is one zoning district. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 14-11?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry, is there public comment needed for this? I didn't think anybody, okay, yeah. Okay, Mr. Rocco?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Gentlemen, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you for a short evening.
Okay, item number 4, consider proposal for Remington Verdict Engineers for the Green Light Go program at the intersection of Mill Creek Road and Levittown Parkway.
Thank you for your time. We put a proposal in for a PennDOT Green Light Go program grant application, which we would love to prepare on behalf of Falls Township. What the grant does is it pays for improvements for traffic signalization. Specifically what it does is to improve safety and mobility by reducing congestion and improving efficiency of existing traffic signals on state highways. The grant application is a 50-50 grant, meaning that for every dollar you put in, the state will match a dollar. One of the nice things that in the township, you already have a shovel-ready project. You've got a design project that's already on the shelf. It already has its PennDOT approvals, and as soon as you get funding, it's ready to be constructed. And those are the intersection improvements at Mill Creek Road and Levittown Parkway. It involves signalization improvements and also ADA improvements. That would be a perfect project to make a submission for the Green Light Go program. So we would just ask for your consideration.
Okay. All right, comments or questions regarding the proposal? Mr. Boraski?
I have nothing.
Okay. Mr. Dents?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Mr. Rocco?
I have none.
All right. Okay, so I guess one of the concerns could be whenever we get involved in state, grant work, and we saw this with things like Biles Island, unfortunately, that you could be forced to do a lot of things the state wants you to do if you accept their grant money. For putting in sidewalks and curb cuts and ADA. There are no sidewalks in the area. Would there be any situation where you could foresee us having to do a lot of that work for this?
The beauty of it is you already have a PennDOT approved HOP plan. So the design's been done, and PennDOT has already accepted it. They can't come back and modify it because it's already been accepted by their own group. So you're actually in a good position.
Okay.
With this specific project we'd like to go for.
All right. That's good news. Okay. So we're looking then at amount not to exceed $1,900 for the Green Light Go application for the intersection at Levittown Parkway and Mill Creek Road. Any public comment? See no hands. Is there a motion then to approve the $1,900 to Remington, Vernick, and Beach, or Remington, Vernick for this project?
I'll make the motion to approve the $1,900, not to exceed $1,900 for the Green Light Go program at Mill Creek and Levittown Parkway.
I'll second.
Okay. Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too, thank you. Okay, item 5 is consider heart and lung insurance proposal from Delaware Valley Insurance Trust. Mr. Gray.
Yes, Delaware Valley Insurance Trust, or DIVIT as they're known as, is offering Heart and Lung Act coverage to its trust members for an annual premium of $30,036 effective January 1st, 2015. Currently, when a police officer is temporarily disabled due to a work-related injury, they receive 100% of the regular pay from the township. Workers' compensation insurance pays the employee 2/3 of their pay. The remaining 1/3 of the pay is a township expense. In 2013, the township expense for unreimbursed disability wages was just over $137,000. The first 2 quarters of 2014 have netted an expense of $38,000. The Heart and Lung Act coverage currently being offered by DIVIT provides for the reimbursement of the 1/3 of the pay not covered by work comp up to an aggregate limit of $100,000. The board is asked to consider this proposal from DIVIT for the amount of $30,036 for the year 2015.
Okay. Comments or questions from Mr. Gray regarding this proposal? Mr. Boraski?
Nothing right now.
Mr. Dents?
So last year, we paid out $137,000
Yes.
out of pocket?
Yes.
How about, and what are we on track for this year?
Right now, we're at $38,000.
And this is $35,000 or $30,000?
This premium is $30,000, yes.
So if we had this, I'm sorry, you done?
No, you're right. If we had this last year, we would only paid $130,000 of that $137,000, right?
For 60,000.
We would have paid $37,000.
Yeah, because it covers up to $100,000.
Oh, up to $100,000.
Yes.
Plus the 30,000.
Well,
Right, yeah, you have to pay the
yeah,
premium.
You're paying,
Yes,
right, paying the premium.
Okay.
Yes.
right.
I guess it makes sense.
Is this something new?
Yes, it's new.
And we have, some injured officers right now, right? Out on disability.
Yeah, yes.
So would that cover them now?
Yeah,
Well, what can go
Well,
into effect
in 2015.
January, starts in
January.
Yeah.
yes.
But it would cover officers that are already out on disability?
Yeah. In the year 2015 going forward.
So anybody that newly is injured.
Or would it just carry, anybody
they're-
who's still injured, start in January? If
Pre-existing?
there's-
Yeah, if they're injured now, in 2015, they would be covered starting January 1st.
Okay.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that answers my question. Thank
Mr.
you.
Rocco, any
I'm
questions?
good, thank you.
Okay, no, it seems pretty straightforward. And this is something, this isn't just new getting us involved. This is something new from Divot, is that
Yes,
correct? Right,
yes.
So they've never offered this before?
We've never had it. This is new that they're offering. I think they had it in the past, but now they're starting to offer it as a premium to all the different trust members. So it's something new that we've been offered.
Okay. All right. Any public comment or questions? I see no hands. Okay. Then we'll look for a motion to approve $30,036 as the premium for Delaware Valley Insurance Trust for the Heart and Lung Act wage reimbursement coverage effective January 1st, 2015.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
All right, item 6 is consider change order number 2 for the 2013 Falls Township Road Improvement Program. Mr. Sullivan, turn to you.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. For your consideration, ideas, change order number 2 to the 2013 Falls Township Road Improvement Program. This change order covers work over and above the contract cost with PA American for extra meter pit work and additional water services. The result of the change order is an increase of $37,585 to the original contract, which will be reimbursed to the township by PA American.
All of it?
All of it.
So we're spending this money now, and we're going to get it all back.
Yes, we do it as part of our program, and we get it all back as soon as you pay them.
Okay.
We knew we were going to have to do that.
Okay. Comments or questions from Mr. Sullivan or Mr. Gray?
No.
Mr. Bresky? No?
No.
Okay. Comments or questions from the public? No? All right, it's pretty straightforward. While the roads are open, might as well do some utility work, and utilities pay us. So we're paying up front, and then we get reimbursed in utilities because we're making their jobs a little easier. They don't have to go out to bid, they don't have to get contractors, et cetera. All right, so motion to approve change order number 2 for the 2013 Falls Township Road Program, $37,585.
So moved.
Second.
Second motion made and seconded. Mrs. Pullen?
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes?
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay. All right, the minutes from October 7th, 2014. Okay, I know Mr. Rocco said he had a correction on one of the pages.
Yes, under board comment, under member Rocco, the last sentence, I believe was made by Mr. Dents and not myself.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I said we were going to create it. It was creating a new tax. Mr. Rocco disagreed.
No, I didn't necessarily disagree,
I
but
said it
I
was my
did-
opinion, not yours.
yeah, it's an opinion. But I didn't say that, so that's what I'm pointing out.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions or corrections?
Excellent minutes, as always, Mrs. Pullen.
That was all I had.
All right, is there a motion then to accept the minutes as amended for October 7th, 2014?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mhm. Okay. Setting a land speed record here.
We are.
Okay, it's Mr. Kinney and Mr. Mariani aren't here, so we're just flying through stuff. Engineers, maybe we should just go through every item on the engineer's report. How about that? We have how many things? 18, 31 projects under earth disturbance. Mr. Sullivan, give us some summary, a summary here of the September 2014 engineering report.
Of course, the most important part of this report would be what could be the second to last update on the road program for this year. Work is 100% complete on 8 of the 9 roads. They are Hedgerow Drive, Peaceful Drive, Kirby Drive, Valley Road, Rice Drive, Floral Drive, Fletcher Drive, and Walton Drive. On the eastern half of Bernard Drive, from Angela Drive to Share Drive, the work is also 100% complete. The only work remaining is the western part of Bernard Drive, which is from Share Drive to Stony Hill Road. The road is under binder. Sidewalk work is about 90% complete, and they will continue to do lawn restoration and driveway restoration. And hopefully the wearing course will be completed on or about October 31st.
Does that mean the punch list has been completed?
There will be punch lists from that point on.
So when you say, for people
100
watching at home, when he
yeah.
says the work has been completed, that doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean-
Morrissey's packing up and leaving.
That is correct.
There's going to be a punch list,
There will be a punch list now, and there will be a punch list in the spring as well.
so they'll be here for a while.
They will still be on site. Hopefully, most of the punch list items have to deal with growing grass on the first parts of the road program when the grass is planted in the summertime, which isn't very good. Most of the work will be done by their subcontractor, Bustleton Services, who is their landscaper.
Too late
But
to
yeah.
plant grass now, isn't it?
Oh, no.
No.
This is some of the best time of the year to grow grass. Plant it and it gets, pop within 5 to 10 days. Makefield Road is also complete, finally, except for the grass shoulder restoration work, which must be completed and should be done by the end of this week.
Which means it's not complete.
The paving is complete. All work is complete except, that's what
The
it says.
repairs that they have to do, which means it's not complete.
It is substantially complete.
Repair.
And
I'll take that.
next month, when I have this update, I will say all work is substantially complete.
You've been saying that for 6 months.
I'm going to mean it this time. That's really all I have, unless there are questions about some of the other projects going on in the township.
If anyone lives in the area of the road program, it is updated. You can get an update every 2 weeks on our township website. So you can find out the status. I know we're almost done now, but it just came to my attention that some people were unaware that we were updating it on the website. And the information is there of what's been done, what's happening next, and so forth. That's all.
Okay. Other comments or questions for Mr. Sullivan? Mr. Boraski? No. Mr. Rocco?
Yeah, I had one, Superior Motors. They were in front of us a few months ago. There were some things that they needed to do. Can you give us an update on that?
Yes, some of that work has been completed. The bollards are in place. The bollards have chains across them. I think the cars are parked a little too close to the bollards. We'll go talk to them about that. And they plan to do some striping to better define the actual main entrance to the site.
Okay, yeah, we kind of left it in your hands a few months ago, so.
I just drove by there tonight, and there were cars parked in the parking lot, like for sale.
Yeah, there are cars parked there. And like I said, some of them are right up against the bollards. We'd like to see them move back a little bit.
Okay,
Other than that, it looks good.
that was all I had. Thank you.
Okay, no, I don't have anything. Let's see, public comment, questions? No? Okay, is there a motion then to accept the September 2014 engineering report?
Yes, I'll make the motion to accept the engineering report.
I will second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, bill list is item number 9. The bills this month in the amount of $2,347,089. Of that, $2.3 million, $1 million is salary and insurance, a little over $1 million. And then we have about, workman's comp is $100,000, the road program is $656,000. So roughly $1.8 million of the $2.3 is insurance, I should say health insurance, workman's comp insurance, salaries, and the road program. So essentially, 4 items make up 79% of the bill list. This month, we spent more on electricity than we did for our legal services from Rudolph, Paizo, and Clark. So,
Vacations, probably.
yeah. So, comments or questions regarding the bill list?
No.
Okay. So, a motion then to pay the bills, $2,347,089.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Roll call when we spend money. I apologize. Mrs. Bullen?
Mr. Boraski?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Dents?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we don't have need, actually, we had an executive session ahead of time. Ms. Gallagher?
The board did meet in a brief executive session this evening to discuss a matter of personnel and a matter of potential litigation.
Okay, thank you. And manager comment?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Wow.
And that brings us to board comment. We have time. We want to, do rock, paper, scissors, see who wants to go first.
I have nothing.
You have nothing?
I have nothing either.
No?
No, sorry.
Mr. Boraski?
It's all you.
Oh, look at that.
The Harvey Show.
See, then, yeah, right, and that's why people start criticizing me, because I'm the one who talks. Just a few things, a couple reminders that, and I know this is I believe it's posted on the website for leaf collection. And I'm sure we'll have Mr. Mariani with his model of a little truck with a straw in it at some point pretty soon. But leaf collection is going to be November 15th and November 29th.
It's too soon.
Okay. And the question I actually have for Mr. Gray, and I forgot to ask this until now, so I apologize. And there was a time where we used to get 4 leaf collections, and then I know Waste Management moved one to the spring for spring cleanup.
Yes.
And then we had 3 leaf collection days in the fall, and then 1 in the spring. Now we have 2 leaf collection days in the fall. Is there a reason? Are they moving the other one to the spring?
I'm not aware at this moment. I could find out.
Okay. Yeah, we should make sure, because I actually think that's in the agreement we have with them, that they have to give us those. So let's make sure we have enough to satisfy the people who need it. Any leaves must be in either the paper bags that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. I just stocked up myself not too long ago, or in 30-gallon trash containers without lids. Okay, and you can put out as many as you want, and they'll take them. Okay. So, and I know that information is available online. Our November meeting, a reminder that our next meeting is not the first Tuesday because that's election day, so we're going to meet the day before on the first Monday, which is November 3rd. Okay, I think we talked about that at our last meeting, so we'll make sure that information goes out. I had an email from a resident in Elderbury who's asking about the flood zone. And I wanted to give sort of an update to everybody. I know board members know, I think, most of this, if not all of this as well, because I was talking to Mr. Sullivan a little earlier today, Mr. Gray as well, just getting the latest. We've been working with FEMA very hard now for several years to try and get them to change the flood maps. They have areas of Thorn Ridge, North Park, Elderberry in a flood zone, causing all of the people who, or most of the people who live in that area, to pay flood insurance despite the fact that there's never been any flooding. And we don't foresee any potential to, for any flooding. After working very, very hard with FEMA, they have agreed to take North Park, I think almost all of it, if not all of it, out of the flood zone in their newest maps, which I think go official. Are they official now, or are they just for review right now? For 6-month review?
March is probably the earliest.
Right. I think in September they went up for a 6-month review, so in March they'll be official. So for people that live in North Park paying flood insurance, effective March, that should go away. And that's, I think it's your responsibility. FEMA is not going to contact your bank to tell your bank not to charge you flood insurance anymore. It's your responsibility to let your bank know that you're not in the flood zone anymore. Of course, that's good news for North Park. Not, still people in Elderberry and some of Thorn Ridge are in the same in the same boat because they are still paying flood insurance. Some of them. T&M, our engineers, did some survey work this summer. Work that they forwarded on to FEMA in Elderberry. And I believe it's on the Thorn Ridge as well, or just Elderberry, Mr. Sullivan?
Just Elderberry.
Just Elderberry, which is the bigger section where the problem exists. To try and convince FEMA that those maps have to change too. FEMA is limited by their budget. They cannot go through and make new maps without having the resources, the funding, and that, of course, is a problem in Washington. And so while we're submitting information to them, hoping that they will change the maps, it will not happen soon. And that's something certainly you can contact your elected officials about and let them know that you're having that problem. In the meantime, the township is committed to doing everything we can. Our staff, engineer, as well as code enforcement, went through training recently to learn more about the community rating system, which is a series of things that municipalities can do regarding developing or restrictions on development and other things regarding stormwater, things that we can do and pass here, many of which I think we already have in place, if not most of which we already have in place, that once we submit to FEMA that these are the things we're doing, it should give everybody in our community who pays flood insurance a discount. So we're working very hard to complete that. As I said, most of we're just trying to figure out right now what we have left to do that we don't already have done. In the meantime, for people that believe that they are wrongly put into a flood zone, and again, speaking specifically to people in Elderberry and Thorn Ridge, you can ask for what's called a LOMA, L-O-M-A, a letter of map adjustment. Now, you have to do this from FEMA. This is not something the township handles, although I did talk to Mr. Gray about having some kind of a link onto the website from the code enforcement page so that people could go there and find out how exactly to contact FEMA to get this done. You will have to hire your own surveyor to come out and do some work and then submit that information to FEMA. There will be a cost involved, and that's a cost that obviously the homeowner bears. However, the cost will be much less than whatever flood insurance you're paying. So if you really believe that you're out, a letter of map adjustment is the fastest way to get yourself out, and that is something you can do on your own. So we'll try and be as helpful as we can here. I know Mr. Bennett, our code enforcement officer, deals a lot with LOMAs, getting certificates to come in, and he has to sign off on things like that. So we are continuing to work on that. It's not something that we're forgetting about, but we are pushing very hard. I want to thank the administration, the staff. I know I got this in the mail, the Falls Township newsletter, just this week. And I want to thank the staff here for putting together a very, very useful, I think, a document that people can have. Police Department, Park and Rec. There's information in here from our Shade Tree Commission about bamboo and sort of the risks of planting that and how to get rid of it. code enforcement, fire marshal, public works, all kinds of information in here. There's also some coupons and things like that. So we put this together. We're back to doing this. We had problems with the previous publisher, so we had to find a new company that does this for us. And we're hopefully people are finding it useful. There's contact information and phone numbers for the township. So I want to thank Mr. Gray for working on this, as well as Rose Mall, our township secretary, as well as all the departments for putting information in. They did. And lastly, as you notice, most of us here have pink ties on for breast cancer awareness. October, if you watch any kind of sports, especially football, you see the players wearing different, pink socks, pink details on the uniforms, towels, etc. All of it to promote breast cancer awareness. Obviously, it is one of the leading killers of women in this country. And so we ask that all women, and there was a story recently, I think on NBC News, about men, that there are a couple thousand men every year who get diagnosed with breast cancer. And so it is a disease that does cut across both genders. Obviously, it affects females much, much more, and we ask that everybody take care of themselves, get themselves a physical and examinations, mammograms, and we want to try and do as much as we can to eliminate that killer. So speaking as somebody who's lost family members to cancer, it's something that's I take very seriously, and I definitely want to see everybody get those checks, get those examinations. The earlier you catch it, obviously the much better, much happier the ending you're likely to have. So doing our little bit here to try and promote awareness. So with that, I want to thank the board and our professionals for all the work that they've put in. We do have one person who I think wants to speak. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I never came to a township meeting.
Okay, that's all right.
Sure, exactly. Where to switch this in.
Okay.
My name is Bridget Carfagno.
Make sure you speak in the microphone.
Okay, my name is Bridget Carfagno, and I wrote this little letter. It says, to whom this may concern at PennDOT, we the people are formally requesting that street lights be installed on Business Route 1 going northbound towards Trenton and southbound towards Oxford Valley Road. We're requesting the street lights due to the volume of accidents along the Snipes Curve. I personally had a friend who was involved in one of those accidents at that location last year. She was coming around the bend and she didn't see the accident and plowed into it and became a part of the accident. And a lot of people have been complaining that there are no street lights. People that I hear from out of town, like at different stores, going to the Oxford Valley Mall and trying to go on Route 1, going to Sesame Place or to the Oxford Valley Mall. They've complained about accidents and wishing the street lights would be installed on this route. So I went to the trouble of even contacting Mr. Ed Kunkel at PennDOT, and he informed me that Falls Township would have to initiate the fact that they would have street lights there. And he said, if you collected signatures for that, we would initiate that. So I went around and I collected 100 signatures.
Okay, good for you.
So they said, if you get Falls Township to initiate this, we will seriously consider it. And we want at least, 50 to 60 signatures. And I said, well, I can do you one better. I'll do 100. So I have my 100 signatures, and I have your copy.
Okay,
if
great.
you wanted to do that.
Sure, absolutely. Thank
if
you.
that's at all possible.
Sure, thank you very much. I appreciate your work on that.
I really appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
So many accidents going on down there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.